You're listening to the Precision Shooting Podcast, discussing all aspects of precision and long-range rifle shooting. This episode is brought to you by Impact Dynamics, advanced training for the precision shooter. And now, over to your hosts.
Well, hello and welcome to the Precision Shooting Podcast. My name is Rusty, and with me via Skype up there in sunny Queensland is the reigning champion of the PRS in Australia, Mr. Mick Stubbin. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
I'm basking in the glory of talking to you, mate.
Yeah.
I just thought we'd get the compliments out of the way because, we're going to throw some challenges down later.
Yeah, righto.
For those who don't know, Mick came down to Mildura last year for the Vortex Cold Steel Open and absolutely decimated the field with a tiny little Ruger precision rifle, which no doubt we will get onto a little bit later, Mick, and talk about. But I'm curious, mate, where did it all start for you from a shooting side of things, and also what was your first gun?
Oh, okay. So, first gun was 22, like probably everyone that's listening. When I was young, more or less, but serious shooting sort of began when I was 18. I was a full-time roo shooter. Western Queensland, Western New South Wales. Only retired 2 years ago, so I did about 30-something odd years of that, or 28 years of that, so that was enough for me.
Yeah, wow.
But about 10 years ago, sort of progressed over to a bit of club shooting just for a bit of interest, and it was nothing like what we do with the precision stuff, but I actually went down the Western Action road. So
you're a cowboy.
Cowboy shooter, mate. Come fifth in the Nationals a few times, and I excelled at the lever action rifle. That's what I was good at. So
Okay. What was your cowboy name?
Tom Tucker.
Tommy Tucker.
Used to call me Tommy Gun.
Right, I reckon that might catch on. Bring up some old memories.
Yeah, mate. No, it was good. Good crowd of people. Same as what we do now. They were good crowd of people. So that was the main attraction,
Yeah, fantastic. And so during your time roo shooting, I imagine you didn't really do much shooting on the side of that. That was really sort of tied you up.
Yeah, mate. You didn't shooting. Well, roo shooting's not exactly a exciting sideline. It actually probably pushed me away from the club shooting a bit because you were doing it, 5 and 6 nights a week. You do in your spare time. You didn't really want to pick up a gun, So
no, I can appreciate that. But obviously, once you finished up roo shooting, the desire to continue to shoot or go back to shooting obviously was fairly strong for you.
Yeah. I really enjoy me shooting, and I'm enjoying it more now than I ever have, I think. So yeah, it's really good.
That's good to hear. And did you jump straight from sort of yeeharing around to PRS? Yeah,
pretty much. I used to run the local match for single action, and Travis Caesar from our club and those guys had a fledgling sort of movement going for this style of shooting that we do now at our club, and Travis has put a lot of work into it, and we actually got it registered as a match in Queensland under Spectrum Rifles. So it was and I sort of jumped over to that and been there ever since.
And how long ago was that, Mick?
I think I'd been shooting it about 10 or 12 months before Mildura, so it wasn't that long.
Okay. Yeah. So a couple of years. Okay, so you took to it pretty well.
Yeah, mate, no. It was it fitted me right down to the ground.
And what sort of distance were you covering in those comps?
So we do 500 up here.
Okay.
And Travis had booked out the Queensland complex probably about 3 or 4 shoots a year, and we could get her out to about a bit over 1,000. We could get out to about if we stretched it to the very back dirt, we were getting it sort of 1,080 sort of thing. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it was good fun.
Absolutely, a fair change from the apart from the culture, but I guess the actual what you had to achieve was a fair difference from the cowboy side of things. Yeah,
it was, but as a roo shooter, I was always very particular about my ammo and rifles, and I didn't just have the old Remington off the shelf. Most of my roo guns were in around that $8,000, $9,000 sort of in that sort of range. So
okay,
a little bit different.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but if you bring it up. So the transition from Western action shooting, obviously you saw what the other guys were doing, and it piqued an interest for you. What did you go out and buy a gun first, or did you use what you had?
I used what I had. I had an old 260 actually here, an old Remington 260, and I thought that'd fit the bill. And it did in the early days until we started getting to this 10 rounds for a stage.
Of course.
And, yeah, the old top load Remington didn't really cut it with the other guys, but that was good. And then we had a few guys from Brisbane, Andy McNeil. They come out from Brisbane and they did a few shoots at our club, and that sort of got us looking at. Well, we were a bit taken back at some of the gear these guys were using, like we'd never seen nothing like it before. So
yeah, okay.
That was pretty interesting. I'd never even heard of a Vortex scope before.
Fair enough. Okay, so you obviously started being exposed to some more bits and pieces around the place.
Yeah, like at our club, it just switched on. Like most of our members are country guys, so that style of shooting just appealed to all of them. Like they just really, they really took to it.
I know it's a topic we've talked about and probably spent an entire episode here talking about is that correlation between RU and sort of spotlighting and that side of things coming across to the PRS sort of style. And it is so, in so many ways, I won't go over it again because we've covered it a lot, but there's so many similarities, and that's why I think this type of shooting is popular with the exact guys you're talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, it's just something that they're used to doing on a daily basis, and it converts over to the club really easily. So, it was good.
For sure. And which club are we talking about?
It's Millmerran. It's the Heckendorf Road Q15 club.
Okay, so if guys are sort of near-ish to that, they can check it out and see what's happening.
Yeah, we're like 90 k's, 100 k's west of Toowoomba. So
okay,
yep, third Saturday of every month we kick her into gear.
Yeah, right. Okay, we'll definitely get along to that. We'll put some links somewhere to wherever we can link to in the show notes. Make sure we put that info out there. That would be really good.
Yeah.
So you went from your 260 Remy.
Yep.
And then you ended up with a Ruger at some point. How did that come about?
Yeah. So I used the 260 for a little while, and then I used one of my Ruger rifles. And neither of them fitted the bill.
Yep.
So then I just plucked a 243 Ruger off used guns. Last year it was really early last year, and started shooting it, and the barrel died on it. The barrel died on it like 7 days out from Mildura.
Oh no!
Yeah, and it was panic stations like you wouldn't believe. I was like, "Oh my god, what am I going to do here?"
No, I would believe it. I absolutely would believe it.
Mate, I'm the most unluckiest bloke in the world, as you know. Like, guns just seem to break down on me at the worst possible time. But and a mate of mine, Jimmy Kent, Buffalo Gunsmith in Toowoomba, he just said, "I get your barrel, I get it done." So he was awesome. He got on Nevy Madden at Madco and had me a barrel in like a day, and had it fitted in like the next day. And he was awesome. So I had
that's fantastic.
I think I had 3 days out from Mildura to fire for some brass and pretty much load some ammo and drive down. So yeah.
And so what cartridge did you end up going with?
Well, I've always been a 6mm BR shooter, always. But I'd actually pre-ordered a Pacific Tooling reamer off David Kiffer 6BRX. So we spun that up and we went from there.
Yeah, brilliant. And so that's what you're running for the match?
Yep. Yeah, I think I'm on about my third or fourth barrel on the BRX now, and I can't see myself changing anytime soon.
Nice. What made you choose the Ruger, and how did you find that transition going from the guns you'd been using, sort of pretty traditional, Remy's and that sort of standard sort of stuff, I imagine, through to something really sort of purpose-built?
Yeah, it was interesting. I had to change a few things in my shooting technique. Nothing major, just a few tweaks of how I held the gun mainly. Going to do a sort of a more of a pistol grip style instead of the traditional hunting rifle style. It was it took a bit of nutting out, but the Ruger was really nice. I couldn't recommend them enough. So long as your bolt shroud doesn't break, pretty right.
Right, so I guess that's going to lead me to my next question. But at the PRS, for many who were there, they know that your bolt failed. What actually happened?
Well, the Gen 1s have that plastic bolt shroud on the back of them. And I knew I was having a few dramas with it, nothing like that. And it had actually cracked right off. So for some reason, the firing pin was just falling forward with the bolt, more or less.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was nearly curtains for me, but Nick from Ignition ran up the line and grabbed a bolt out of someone else's Ruger and said, run this. Yeah, we whacked her in, and the only problem was the guy wanted his bolt back after that stage, so I was still not going real good, but luckily you come to the rescue with a spare one in the car. So,
yeah, I had a spare Ruger in the car, as you know, I like to think everyone does.
Just like everyone does, mate. Yeah, just a spare Ruger line in the back.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good, mate. So I'm guessing from that you're a bit disappointed by that, and you have recently upgraded. Has that sort of been drawn out, or what was your process to go from a Ruger to a custom built?
Had always planned to go down that road. Just didn't want to jump into something that's, $6,000-7,000 without making sure that this was where I was heading. Yeah, it's a lot of money. I mean, I'm not exactly. I don't exactly have the biggest wad of cash in my pocket, so
not anymore. Anyway,
it's a big decision to outlay that sort of.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So tell me about this pimped out Orange Dragon Slayer thing that you've got.
The Jaffa, mate. She's Masterpiece Arms comp chassis, which I absolutely love. Phil and them guys do a unbelievable job with those chassis. They're just the most comfortable thing you'll ever shoot, and
probably the brightest as well. That thing is glowing. I think you throw your competitors off because it just gets in their eyes and they can't see.
That's exactly how it works. I tried the Manners to start with, which I thought was my home, but after actually Dave Preston from the States was the one who said to me, once you pick up that Manners, the MPA, he said you won't go back, and he was dead right. It was just an instant fit. As soon as I picked it up, I knew it was where I wanted to be. So yeah, but really nice stock. And I mean, if any of the guys are ever at the clubs and that, and they see me I'm more than happy to let guys have a couple of shots out of her and see what they reckon. Because I think they're pretty special bit of gear. Yeah,
right. So you've got the MPA chassis. What else is sitting in that?
And we got the Bighorn TL3 tactical action in there. Absolutely love that thing. It's been an absolute hammer since I've had it. Absolutely smooth as. Most guys get behind it and run the bolt and just go, oh, that's pretty good.
What made you go down that path? Because obviously there's a stack of actions, and Bighorn are on that list, but they're not necessarily sort of higher up that list at this point, although that perhaps is changing. But what made you jump on that bandwagon?
Yeah, well, look, Rob Gale from Pro Hunt Outfitters, he was the one who talked to me. I never even heard of a Bighorn action before. I thought he was pulling my leg, to be honest. And anyway, so he said to me, look, go and bloody get on the internet and have a look and see what you reckon. He said, I can do you a good price, and, I want you to run this action and see what it's like. So I did a bit of homework on them, and I seen a few guys in the States running them, and, they were decent guys and they were getting decent finishes. And I thought, well, maybe there is a bit of something to this. So I said, righto, send me one. Let's give it a crack. And, I've got two of them sitting out there now. So, yeah, I'm more than happy with them.
Right. And they change out, like they swap out
everything.
Bolt faces and stuff?
Yep. You can 223, you can Magnum, anything, yeah. And it's such a simple process. You don't need any tools. You just unwind your firing pin, pull your firing pin out, push your pin out in the bolt face, drop your bolt face off, put your new bolt face in, pin back in, firing pin clicks in by hand. It's such a simple process.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And what have you screwed into it?
So that one there is a 6BRX.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one that's sitting in the cupboard waiting for a barrel, it'll probably be a 6.5 47 lap.
Okay. Going away from the 6BRX, eh?
No. Well, I'll always have the BRX in the cupboard. It's a bit of a favourite. So, no, it'll always be there.
Just got to have a good backup, don't you?
Just got to have that backup, mate.
What's on top of it? Are you still running what you picked up last year?
Yeah, mate. Yep. So I've got the Razor up on top there, and actually I've got it just changed over from the Vortex Precision rings, which I really love. But Rob got me in a cost price of a MPA set of one-piece mount. Yeah, I think all my guns will be wearing them from now on. They're a really nice mount.
They're one I've had no experience with, but I've seen or heard a little bit about them. What sort of makes them so good that you want to run them on everything?
Oh, look, they just we did a bit of a test. So Rob was telling me how good they tightened down on the pick rail and all the rest of it, because they actually they grip down over the rail a lot more than your traditional sort of mounts and that. They don't sort of pinch up onto the rail. They sort of dig down onto the rail. It's a bit of a funny one, but
okay.
Yeah, you could do the screws up barely finger tight, and you just couldn't bash that scope off with a hammer. It's just, yeah.
It sort of sounds like you may have tried.
No, not with the Vortex anyway. But no, they're a really good mount. You know, they're rock solid, and yeah, a lot of top shooters over in the States. I see those guys switching across to them, so that speaks volumes for their stuff. So.
Yeah, they seem to be fairly well priced.
They are. Yeah, I think those ones. I actually had to pay counter price for them, but I think they still ran around $265. So I think that's pretty competitive, eh?
Yeah, okay.
And I see Phil, I've bought them out with a 20 MOA built into the actual mount as well, so you could really get some elevation out of them if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's always my requirement, at least 20 MOA built in, because I like to make the most of the scope, I guess.
For sure.
Is there anything else on your rifle that's worth mentioning? Your muzzle brake on there? Or?
Yeah, mate, I'm running the APA Little Bastard brake. I like it. I've also got an MPA brake as well, which I can't split them. To me, they're identical. The MPA guy's a little bit more bulkier, but yeah, take your pick. They're both beautiful brakes.
Yeah, I've had one of those little bastards had it for a while, and it was excellent. Yeah, couldn't fault it. It would be the best one I'd used. And
the new addition on the gun, I nearly forgot about this one. Rob also got me a couple of Trigger Tech diamonds, which I find to be a bloody fine trigger. Scotty Patel's run them on his MPA as well. We both had a bit of a long discussion about them, and they are a very, very nice trigger. I've pulled the jewels off and gone with the Trigger Techs now.
Are they a 1 or a 2 stage?
Single stage.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty's having a bit of dramas getting used to the single stage, but he's cracking it now. He's going good with it. So yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
What sort of weight are you running on that?
So I'm being an RE shooter from here, there, and over the hill. I sort of run fairly light triggers. I wouldn't recommend new shooters running like 6 or 8 ounce triggers, but I try to sit around that 6 ounce sort of thing on mine.
Yes, certainly something you want to practice with before you use.
Yeah. You think 30 years behind the gun, it's second nature not to put too much pressure on the trigger when you find it. So yeah, you guys might have a bit of drama with light triggers like that, but anyway.
I'm curious to see how the Trigger Tech goes, because I know that a mate of mine had some real issues with them early days, but that is going back a good probably 4 years now.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, I expect that they've improved significantly, and I see a lot more people running them.
Yeah, well, I've run this one now in about 4, maybe 5 matches, and I'm sort of I'm rolling into it now. Like the first couple of matches were a bit scratchy. You get used to your gear, and then you change something, and it's all of a sudden you're nearly starting from scratch again to figure it out. But they're a good trigger. I'd recommend them to anyone. They're really good.
Fantastic. Is there anything else on the rifle we need to discuss?
Oh, no, mate, I think. Oh, well, I've got a Muellerworks barrel on there from the States.
Yep.
Really nice barrel. My gunsmith actually rang me up, and he was like, he's an American guy too, Jimmy, and he goes, where the hell did you get this barrel from? And I was thinking, what's wrong with it? And he said, I just patched the drilling grease out of it, and he said, it's the slickest bloody thing he said I've ever seen. So, yeah, he was impressed, and he said it was probably one of the nicest barrels he's fitted in probably about the last 10 years. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And is there anything that you've got your eye on? It doesn't, it could be nice top-end gear, or it could be something more budget that you'd recommend. What sort of caught your attention at the moment?
Oh, there's always bits and pieces. I mean, the Trigger Tech had me attention for a long time. I'm glad I've got my hands on those now. No, there's not really a lot that I would like to add, except for maybe one of the Send It units.
The digital
levels, yeah. Andy's had one. He's been showing me at a few of the shoots, and yeah, that's probably something I'd be keen to get and have a play with, and see if I could make something of it. Because I'm a shogger. I can't hold a gun level to save myself. I'm terrible.
Yeah, I think that happens to most of us if we're honest with ourselves.
I'm really bad, but anyway, that's just what it's like. So
yeah, that's all right. Need a level on there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Anything else that's caught your attention? Anything maybe in the budget sort of range? The Ruger's still sort of right up there with what you think a new shooter might be interested in?
Oh, look, I mean, there's so much gear coming out now. It's hard to get your mind around. Like every rifle company's got a precision rifle of some sort coming out, and I think they've all got merit. Like we've got a guy at our club. He's actually just bought a Tic Tac A1, and I mean, his shooting has just absolutely boomed since he's had that gun. Like he's got a Steiner on the top, and he's just a completely different shooter.
Yeah.
Like he's coming to Mildura actually, so he'll upset a few.
Very good. Speaking of Mildura, mate, you pretty excited about that? We're only when we're recording this, we're only a few weeks out.
Yeah, no, mate, I'm looking forward to it big time. I mean, I'm just looking forward to catching up with the guys I met there last year. Like some really good guys, and be good to have a beer and catch up with a few.
I mean, that's the best part of it, really, isn't it? That's why we all do this.
Oh, yeah, mate. If I couldn't have fun, I wouldn't do it. That's plain and simple.
Yeah,
Right.
spot on, mate. So, but speaking of that, and we are all there for good fun, now's the time, Mick. You're going to throw a challenge down?
No, you got the wrong fella, I'm telling you.
I mean, something out of Scotty. I mean, look, if you don't do it, I'm just going to edit your words from various bits and pieces you've said, and I'm going to piece in something here about you wanting to smash them all or something like that.
Oh, Scotty's devastated, mate. Fat Jesus beat him on the weekend, so it was a long drive back to Brisbane, I think.
Oh, yeah, I bet. I bet. It's a sad day if Fat Jesus beats you.
Yeah, you should have seen his face when they called his name out. I've never seen a bloke so shocked in all my life, but anyway.
Oh, good. And I mean, look, Fatty J is such a humble bloke, and he would have let it pass with really out of moment. He wouldn't even mention it to Scott, I imagine.
No, I'm sure, mate. It would not have got mentioned. I'm certain.
I'm surprised anyone knows about it, to be honest. So the good news is he's not going to Mildura, so at least Scott will be able to beat him.
Yeah, mate, he's devastated. He's not going down. So.
Yeah. Oh, well, all right. Well, I'm going to have to piece something together from your words here, so we'll have some official challenge thrown down by Mick because he's too nice a bloke.
No challenges. I'm coming to Mildura. You'll be bloody devastated when you've got nothing.
Actually, from last year, you'd mentioned talking about having a bolt issue, and I lent you mine, and I don't know if I told you this story, but I've arrived at the pub and I was the only one who knew the results at that stage.
Oh, yeah.
I walked in and we're getting ready for the presentation.
Yeah.
And you've made a beeline straight up to me and said, "Mate, what do you drink? And I'll buy you a beer. Thanks for the bolt." In my head, I know that you've won. And I'm going, this is going to look really good. The winner buying the match director a drink just before presentation.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I was a bit weird about getting a drink off you, but if I was, that's why, because my immediate thought was, well, this is going to look great.
Bit of match fixing going on here. Oh dear.
Yeah, absolutely. So just make me a promise, mate. Don't have like sandpaper on other people's bullets this match. Making them spin a little bit more, getting a reverse swing on the projectiles. Anyway.
Me and Travis drove all the way down to that shoot, and I reckon about every 100 kilometres, one of us would look at each other and say, God, I hope we don't come last.
Well, I guess all that hoping worked well.
Yeah, it must have worked, mate. We'll have to do it again this year.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So let's go theoretical for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's my first day of my shooting career, right? And I'm out on the range with you. You're my coach. I've never been shooting before.
Yep.
What are you going to be teaching me first?
Oh, okay. Right, so first day on the run.
I'm here to ask the tough questions, mate.
Well, I always say to new shooters, just don't let the moment overcome you, because that's usually what happens to new guys. They just get so wound up when they step up to the line. If I'm the RO or something like that on a stage, I try to make a little joke with them and try to set their mind at ease a bit, because some guys, the moment just overcomes them, and they get so worked up and they get flustered and so a little joke on the line and just takes their mind away from it from a bit, and they calm down a little bit and try to get away from all the hiccups that a lot of the new shooters have. So I just try to make them feel comfortable. We do that at our club with everyone that comes there, just try to make them feel very comfortable before they shoot. So, I just tell guys to take their time. I see so many guys try to they look at the clock and say, 90 seconds, and then they just rattle all their shots off and go, how did I do? And you just look at them and go, mate, I wouldn't even know where they'll land, and you just let them.
They missed faster than anyone else.
Yeah, they certainly do. They can hit plenty of dirt, but I just try to keep guys calm mainly and just work on what they're doing right more than what they're doing wrong, because no one wants to be told what they're doing wrong all the time. So, you just try and tweak the little things that they're doing right to start with, and then go from there.
No, excellent advice, and you certainly do see that even in the build-up. I know guys now sort of heading towards Mildura, some of the newer guys are pretty nervous about it. So, I guess that's the thing, is take your time, take it slow, and enjoy yourself.
That's it, mate. Yeah, yep. There's no better advice.
The practice sessions prior to a match, be it like a just a half-day afternoon match, or a full day, or a PRS style on the Friday.
Yep.
It will take me through what you actually do on that practice day. Like, what are you trying to achieve? Do you shoot lots or a little?
Okay. So I'll usually I won't shoot anything prone. Like if you've been shooting a while, a good platform, you don't really need to practice it. I don't believe you've got your fundamentals, so you don't really need to go there. I try and shoot. Most of my practice will come from barricades or more difficult positions, tank traps and that sort of stuff. And I'll dry fire for a bit to make sure I've got my head on the job, and then I usually shoot 1-inch dots at 100 metres on paper and see how I'm going.
Okay, you're really confirming zero and making sure it's all working?
I might run 1 or 2 shots through just to get a zero. But like I said, when you got that better gear, you really don't have to. The gun just is always on. It's on point. So I shoot paper more now than steel practice, because I like to know where that miss is and why that miss went where it did.
Yeah, it shows you a lot of mistakes, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it tells you everything. And, it really does. And I think paper's more important than what guys give it credit for in practice. But that's me. I'll shoot 1-inch dots for practice.
Excellent. Interesting you say like some dry firing prior, like on, at the particular range, you do some dry firing to make sure your sort of head's in the right spot.
Yep.
If you got access to some barricades, you try and sort of mimic some stuff and just play around a bit.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm lucky I live just a bit out of town, so I've got a few bits and pieces in the paddock here, and I'll take the timer over and give her a shot and, put 90 seconds on her and just pluck scenarios out of the air and run a few drills and see where I'm running on my time. The one thing I am trying to work on these days is my internal clock, so I'm not rushed and I'm not running out of time. So I'll try to work on my splits and my shots, and so I sort of know what I can and what I can't do on certain times and how long it takes me to set up a position. And that's sort of where I am now, trying to work on those finer details, I suppose.
How do you go about doing that, Mick? You running a timer sort of all the time?
When I get the chance, I do. Yeah, I'll run the timer, and I'll really just set up like stages that we've actually shot at matches, so that I'm not making up fairy tale stages that anyone could do. I'll nothing better than sitting at home pretending that you're a legend. Oh, geez, I shot that really quick. And so
you just crushed all my dreams, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, I give myself 6 minutes to shoot that. Yeah, beautiful, done it. No worries.
100 metre prone, 3 shots. We should be good.
Yeah, so I try to keep it real as you can.
Yeah. Had a chat with Paul Reed the other day, which guys probably would have heard by now, and he was saying that he will basically come home from a match and build the things that he shot, that he struggled with. He'll try and replicate them.
Yep, that's pretty much, to come home from Mildura. There's a few stages there that really I battled with a few of them, and tried to run through them again and figure out where I went wrong in my position and what I should have done differently. And it definitely helped.
What sort of stages pique your interest? What do you enjoy shooting?
I love barricades and that, mate. I just love if I can ring steel at 700 off a barricade. I love that sort of stuff. Like that. That's what I like.
Is that sort of shoot and move in weird positions?
Yeah. Yep. I really that's my like. The only other thing I do enjoy is like your faster shots. Anything that's like super quick. Like we had one at the club the other day. It was unlimited 90 seconds. And we had a swinger in front of a target. There was a target behind the swinger, so you had to swing the swinger to shoot the target behind it. And those sort of stages that are unlimited, I love them. You know, look, that's just, I love it. It's bread and butter. I love it. Yeah.
You know who else loves those stages?
Mm-hmm.
Ammunition makers.
Is that me? I'm an ammunition maker, aren't
I? they really enjoy people pumping through that much ammo. No, you're right. Those are wonderful stages, and it does seem that everyone's got a little bit of a different sort of personal preference. They like this or they like that as their better. They'll take anything, but they're sort of really, they love that particular one.
Yep.
And so you got a few Barricades around home that you dry fire from? Yeah,
mate. I've got one that the boys at the club absolutely, they hate it. They absolutely loathe it. I call it the fumble gym. My wife's the groundskeeper at the local state school, and they pulled a heap of old swing sets and that down at the school, and they were going to dump them. And she said, geez, this will make a good barricade. So she brought it home, and I put it all together, and it's like chain ladders and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, look, it's horrific to shoot off. It's terrible, but makes you think anyway.
We ran one of those, like those sort of little home slides and swings, and exactly what you're talking about. We ran that for a rimfire shoot, and guys walked in thinking they were going to ace it because the target was 30 metres away.
Yeah.
And the amount of people who missed every single shot. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. It's really funny. They put their gun up on this chain ladder, and because it doesn't touch the ground, so it just keeps swinging. And it is unbelievable how much movement is in the scope when that thing's swinging, and you see them stop and look down and try to put their foot on it, and there's so many. It's hilarious to watch, but you've just got to squeeze the shot and hope for the best with that thing. But anyway, it's good fun.
It sounds like you do as much practice as you can get in, which is a big factor of your success.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I do. I try to. Time's a factor. But, I do try. I will be trying pretty hard to get a bit of practice in before we head south. So,
what bags do you run? We didn't discuss that at all.
Okay.
What are you liking at the moment?
So, I'm running a lot of the Armageddon gear, like a lot of guys do. But my go-to rear bag and barricade bag is the short action precision solo sack.
Okay. Yep.
I'm a bigger sort of bloke, so the heavy sand, weighted, it seems to work for me anyway. I use Game Changer a bit, but if the barricades have got, a few inches on them, if they're not a real narrow barricade, I'll go with the solo sack most of the time.
Yeah, very good. You like that Game Changer?
Yeah, I do, mate. I do. But I do find the solo gets me a lot steadier at distance. Like if I'm shooting barricades at, 500 or whatever, and the targets aren't that big, I do find it does hold that crosshair a tad steadier than the Game Changer. But that's just the way I shoot. That's not going to be for everyone, but yeah, that's just the way I do it.
And I guess what you're saying is that the bag can vary based on the shooter. Really, they're going to find what's comfortable for them.
For sure. There's no doubt.
Imagine you see a fair mix of bags at the comps you run up there.
Yeah, mate, you do. I mean, I've been trying to pinch one off Travis for a while. His missus made him a bag. It's an absolute cracker, but she won't make me one. So, but I reckon that's all crap. I reckon he's telling her not to make me one. But anyway, I hope you're listening.
I'm going to go with that. I think you guys are doing well. Your missus is building barricades for you, and Travis's is making bags and accessories. You guys have got this worked out.
Yeah, mate, it's all happening.
And what, you got kids loading your ammo or something?
Oh, no, I wouldn't let Jack load me ammo much. He might be a bit wild. There'd be a few powders missing, I think.
Oh, well, maybe in time.
Yeah, when he's about 30.
You're outsourcing. Oh, excellent, mate. Well, Mick, brilliant, mate. Thank you heaps for your time for this episode. I know you've got plenty of practice to do to get ready for Mildura.
Yeah, well.
So we don't want to take you away from that too much.
No, thank you for having me on. That was good.
No worries, mate. And I guess, all the guys who are going to be at Mildura have, we're still waiting for you to throw that challenge out.
Coldest beer. Who's got the coldest beer?
I like where your priorities at, mate. That's wonderful. And we can look forward to seeing you in a few weeks. It should be really good fun, and hopefully some of the guys listening have been able to take some of your advice and put it into action prior to the match, or probably more likely they're on the way down to the match currently listening to this going, oh, I wish I knew that before I left. But anyway. Can't give them all the advantages. You've got your own game plans.
Yeah, bloody oath.
Fantastic, mate. All right, well, thank you very much, and good luck for the shoot.
All right, mate. Thank you. I'm coming to Mildura. You'll be bloody devastated. You've got nothing.
Thanks for listening to the Precision Shooting Podcast. To continue the discussion, check out our Facebook page. And for more information, head to our website, www.precisionshootingpodcast.com.au. This episode was brought to you by Impact Dynamics, advanced training for the precision shooter.